Sup everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are actually on stream. Again, you can't see the chat. You know what? I'm gonna turn it on and off very quickly so you guys can actually see that I'm not kidding. Hey, look, there's chat right there. Say something. Oh, there it just moved. It just moved. But as always, you can't trust them, right? There's always some people there who's like, but just letting you guys know, a lot of this stuff happens when we're on live streams. We're discussing, we're having fun, and yeah, just thought to make this video for you guys today. And the topic of discussion here is like, who is Nilou made for? Like, is she good at all? Like, who should pull for Nilou? Because nowadays, you know, especially with the article coming out, and a lot of people say, I'm not pulling, I'm skipping. Even whales who can afford it don't want to pull for characters anymore, myself included. It just got to a point where it feels like, why am I even pulling for these characters? What is the point? Like, no, honestly, what is the point? Because do you need that damage? Do you need that playability? It's for, especially for people who have like 5 different comps already built. You have multiple characters in multiple roles already built up. You don't need it, you just want it, right? But here's the catch, right? In this video, we're going to be talking about the kind of players who likely would need a character like Nilou. Okay, now the first thing a lot of people would say is, that's Cat Walrus, nobody needs Nilou. But no. I don't know how many people has actually seen the statistics and data, but there's actually quite a number of newer players constantly coming into Genshin Impact. Now, my question to you is, do you think players are quitting faster, or do you think players are joining faster? I'll let that one sit and marinate as we continue the video. Here's the thing, right? Comparatively to other characters released in Sumeru, Nilou actually blows both of them out the water. In my honest opinion, I think she is the strongest 5-star release in Sumeru to date. Now, is that saying much? Absolutely not, because there's only been 3, and one of them is in the standard banner, and the other one is literally on life support at this point. Hey, somebody had to say it, right? At this point, I don't think Sino can function without life support. Like, you gotta throw everything in the kitchen sink at him for him to feel normal, okay? So it's not saying much to say that Nilou right now is the best performing character that Sumeru has put out. But that also means that going forward, we have a lot to look forward to, right? So back to the topic of discussion then. Who is Nilou designed for? I honestly think Nilou was designed for newer players. Okay, I know. Pause. Take a breather. Let's talk about that. We've said in the past, and I'm sure at this point, a lot of people shouldn't be questioning Hoyoverse's active decision to favor new players. With characters like Hu Tao, Raiden, and all these traditional OP team comps and characters locked behind limited banners, newer players have, like, if you started this game in 3.0 on, like, I mean, on a Tignari banner, hey, I'm sorry to say, buddy, you're kind of boned when it comes to value for primos. So if you, unless you're like really patient and have been saving up your primo gems since 3.0, you kind of likely screwed yourself. I don't mean to be a hater for Tignari. I'm sure a lot of people really like him, but he's like a very middle of the pack character. Okay, he's good-ish. Granted, you have teams to run him in. So if you started in 3.0, you don't have Kokomi, right? You don't have any of the traditional characters. You don't have Kazuha, I believe. Kazuha was rerun a patch before 3.0 came out. So, you know, I'm just saying, if you started in 3.0, your options have been limited, on top of being extremely rushed in a lot of the content, because you would have to blow through content to get to Sumeru to start even getting the materials to start ascending your 4 stars and 5 stars that you're pulling for, right? So now we fast forward to Nilou. This character is extremely free-to-play friendly. And now I don't know where people are getting the information people saying like, no, she is pay to win, right? Like, Nilou doesn't work without her signature weapon. That's what people are saying. Okay, I'm not saying that. That's real. Like, she doesn't work without her signature weapon. She doesn't work without Kokomi. She doesn't work without Nahida, right? Like, she's just bad without any of those things. And she doesn't work without proper, like, buffer. And she just requires too much. She doesn't work unless she's level 90, talent level 10, 10, 10. Like, listen, you guys think I'm saying this? I'm not saying this. This is people in my videos saying like, Nilou doesn't work unless you are a pay-to-win whale. And I honestly don't know where people get this impression, because Nilou to me is like even more free to play than Tignari. She is. Right now, you can actually crush content in the game. I mean, it doesn't even have to be Abyss. You can crush almost anything because the conditions for activating Super Bloom is just her elemental skill. You don't need her burst. This is like, I don't know where to even begin to highlight the importance of this. When a character has her specialty or her kit locked behind an elemental skill, this character immediately becomes very easy to use in multiple different scenarios, because when it comes to the burst skill, not only do you have to fill up the gauge, you also have to wait for the cooldown. But when it comes to elemental skill, it's just the cooldown, right? That's the difference. That's the importance. So the conditions to activating Super Bloom is just built into her elemental skill. So that means all you need to make sure is you have Dendro application on top of having decent Hydro application. Balance out your Dendro Hydro application, stack some HP, stack some EM, that's it. This is as free to play friendly, beginner friendly as you can. Nilou, which is the only 5-star you need for this team. I mean, with exception to the Dendro MC, right? Don't argue with me on this. Dendro MC is a pseudo 5-star. Don't even argue. Don't start. All right. Technically, you're right. You need Nilou. You need a Dendro MC. You need Kale, which if you didn't get on her banner, you should have gotten one for free. So you should have Kale and Barbara. Out of the 4 characters, 3 of them are given to you for free. For free. You just play the game. And it actually slaps. Yeah, you get Kale for free twice. How much more does HoYoverse need to do for them to basically come out screaming saying like, welcome new players, welcome, try out this character? It's so blatantly obvious what she was designed for. It's like HoYoverse wanted new players to have a character where you can essentially just unga bunga. Yes, ideally there is a rotation for Nilou and her ideal team comps, but really once you activate her elemental skill, once you apply the Dendro, everything else is just throw Hydro at it, and everything just dies. You don't even know what the hell's happening. Everything just dies. It's so straightforward. And I'll be honest, it's kind of fun. It's kind of brain numbing. I'm really not having to think much, except for balancing substats for energy regen on my Dendro characters, because the whole thing falls apart when Dendro can't keep up with the amount of Hydro. As people are saying, her single target damage is completely bad. So that's where we need to go to, right? Like right now, a lot of people are saying, well, you know, her bossing does suck, which is actually going to be a lot of what the game gears towards in the future. There's not going to be a lot of smaller monsters. There's going to be more elite monsters, let's say 2 monsters per chamber. But this is the thing I want to highlight. In a free-to-play environment, we are not looking for the best of anything. Right now, Raiden Shogun is an amazing team for free-to-plays as well, Raiden National. But are you going to be able to get Raiden National? Right? Answer this question. For free-to-play players, where is the next best option? Wait, what, 6 months? Like, oh, just play the game with nothing for 6 months. That's what we are talking about. Current value that's available to you, that's right in front of you, that you can actually grab a hold of, as opposed to talking about, you know, fantasies being like, oh, I gotta wait 4 months, 6 months and gather all these materials and characters and wait for reruns. Where is the fun in that? Currently, we have to be able to provide players, especially newer players, with value in what are you looking towards? What should you be gearing towards? And eventually, as you already have built up a stable foundation of characters you can lean towards, then we talk about, hey, how can you evolve your account? How can you get even stronger, get better characters to round out different play styles? Nilou offers a great free-to-play and new player experience into the game of Genshin Impact with a new reaction system leaning towards Dendro, which is also a new element, in Sumeru, which is a new region. Everything is new, geared for new players, which ties a beautiful ribbon on it, because this is just one giant middle finger to the veterans of the game. Honestly, we're being forced to drop older characters. You can't play Kazuha in this team. You can't play Zhongli in this team. You can't play Raiden Shogun. You can't play Bennett. The only characters you can play is like Xingqiu from the old guard meta. And maybe if you want, you can play Child, or, you know, Mr. Worldwide Tartaglia. Once she gets Nahida, then you can maybe drop a Dendro and add a third Hydro character into her team. So it's favoring the Hydro characters, and of course they would do that because they just changed the Hydro residence. So of course it's going to be reshaping some of the Hydro character roles in the game and importance in other teams as well. So overall, I do think that while veteran players should definitely skip Nilou, or at the very least wait for her rerun, newer players should be looking towards this character as the days continue to go by to see if it's something they should pick up alongside Nahida. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have to choose between this character and the Dendro Archon is, you know, still likely going to win by a landslide, because it's already a given that Archons in every region is going to be the staple for meta foundations going forward. All right, so with all that said, I hope you guys are having fun in the game, because honestly, Nilou is a breath of fresh air, but I don't know how long and how fresh this breath is going to stay. I don't know where I was going with that, but I think I've landed on something. So yeah, free-to-play players, really, it's a tough decision to make, because by no means is she the best, but she is the best we've gotten so far, considering if you don't have any of the previous characters prior to 3.0, you can actually construct a pretty decent team with Nilou, with all free-to-play characters that we've gotten just since 3.0, and it actually works. It feels powerful, and she's only gonna get better with the arrival of Nahida, right? That's gonna be it. A niche character nonetheless, but a good one. Till next time, urge y'all to stay safe. Peace. Say bye, chat.